Hey, welcome everybody. That dude over there is Marco. I'm Driggs, and we are wallowing in the sticks.
Hey, I'm delighted to be with you, Barrister, today, wallowing with our grand community. So as we wallow, let's take a little dive and get into some game action, huh?
Straight away. What an interesting day. We sent out our plays, and it sure was looking like it was going to be a special day straight off. Hit the Phillies. We hit the Nats. Two games that came in smooth. And then some interesting developments here. It looks like Minnesota just beat Milwaukee. That was a game. I made it clear in the game. That's a handicapper's condition. That's really the condition of the handicapper. You know, you can't tell me there's a way to have handicapped that game correctly and to have come out on Dobnik. I can understand somebody saying, I'm playing Minnesota, but it just isn't the right play. I will live and die by that pick, and I put into the write-up, and we will lose. We will watch that game. We handicapped it correctly, and we will watch that like men, and that's what the gambling life is all about, to make the right play and to lose, because it's gambling. So I'm particularly proud of that loss because we did it correctly. That's the way it should be done. One grand slam, that's it. Not like Minnesota was knocking runs around. So it's a tough, painful loss that you know was going to happen before it even happened. But Dobnik, man, this guy, 12 career wins. Make it 13.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps on throwing the rock well, but it really all comes down that you were conditioned for the position, and that was the situation that came. And it's in black and white, and I wish people would write in and get on our VIP list that picks the number 4 sticks, because it said in detail how this is a game you would have avoided. I challenged you. I guess that the child in me is interested in this guy because of his mustache, and you know that.
Yeah.
And so I can't feel sorry for you in any of it.
Well, one should never feel sorry for any handicapper or wagering. It's not a field for misery. Well, just for it is a field for misery. It's not for just, oh, it's so sad. No. That's the way that is. Meanwhile, we're sitting here on the Angel game, and they're down 5-4. Tehran was awful, and we'll take the home team here under these conditions. And if the Angels hit, it's a very good day. Meanwhile, if they don't, it's 2-2, and we're off to a good start on the week with 1/7 of the way through. I want to think of this week as part of the whole. And so this week we're going to break down the percentage by the week. And
Our
so
7 Sundays.
Yeah.
We're 1/7 through our 7 Sundays. And
Right.
For now on, this is going to be the percentages. Is it because the machine, where you machine the algorithms, needed a break and you wanted to keep it simpler? Or you're just saving the machine and the algorithms because the handicapping is getting a little bit more complex?
I think you're reading too much into it. I'm just doing it this week. That's it. Just this week.
All right. 1/7 through the final 7 weeks of the tournament, which yesterday we were a full third of through.
Yes.
Meaning that we had been through 3 of the 10 weeks of the tournament.
Right.
And we know that yesterday was the last game of the week because Sunday is the last day of the week, as is written in Scripture.
Exactly. And so far this week, we are 1/7 of the way through the week. So that brings everybody up to date with the percentages. And I know you have something you wanted to say about Marcus Stroman, who made news today.
Well, I mean, it goes back to conspiracy theories. It's the Mets, and it's another guy secreting out just out of nowhere. And I did, it didn't take a lot of research, but I saw that he had a calf thing. He was on the IL, and as soon as he was eligible to get off the IL, plus as soon as he was on the IL for the exact amount of days that would allow him to be a free agent next year, he decided to say, I don't think I'm into it. But he did take that paycheck for all that day for those 1/3 of the tournament days. He did take that paycheck each and every day. And now I'm not about to do the math, but he had 3.2 million left on whatever. And, he's making 100 grand a day. Why not? If you're sitting on the, IL with a calf injury, ow, my calf. I mean, come on. At least say it's a hamstring. At least right. Your nose or something like that. My calf? Come on, man. We don't even know if it was his calf that he pushes off from or if it's the calf that he lands on. All we know is that he had no intention of playing, that he's probably conspiring with Cespedes the whole time, and that he's like, what am I, an idiot? I could sit on the IL with a calf injury and get $100,000 a day, and then when I'm eligible to come off, I'm going to say, adios. And by the way, the moment that I'm eligible to come off is the moment that I'm eligible to be a free agent. What am I missing, Michael?
No, I think your points are great. And our problem is not an ethical issue with that. In fact, you should do that. That's good judgment. That's the way to handle your situation. We probably do similar things. There's no harm or foul in that. He followed the rules. Our issue is that, at least call it a hamstring, not a calf.
Right. Don't Come fake on. It. What is a calf?
Right, exactly.
No one's out for a calf injury as a pitcher. I'll buy blister because you can't throw. Right. You can't get it. You can't get the grip. And that's like such a wimpish ass injury. But say the hamstring. I mean, throw out the hip flexor because nobody knows what that is. Throw out something that we just believe to be true. Like an ulnar strain or something. Right.
I need to go with
the general calf. I mean, what? He's so down on money that the only doctor that he could get to write him a note wouldn't say ulnar or wouldn't say blister. Would only say, listen, I'll generally just say the calf because there's no way it'll get back to me.
Even if he had pain in the calf, go with hamstring. Or at least go with blister on the calf.
Okay, so these Mets are hilarious. I mean, DeGrom's still on the short list for the Daz Vance, yet he gives up 3 hits to Eddie Alvarez yesterday. Cespedes secrets out of the night with a bag of cash, and Marcus Stroman has a calf blister. Let's move on. I can't think about these Mets for another second, man.
Look how they performed today. They absolutely went out and got murdered. And we were on Washington for that game. But
I got a little too excited. I jumped the gun on that one. I was so excited that our play was just jamming that I might have got a little under your skin. You want to talk about it? Because I think we should be open. I mean, we should be just really candid with each other. Is there something you want to talk about in regard of when it's too much? If ever it's, hey, we're doing okay on this play. If you're up by 10 runs, 13 runs, 15 runs, is there ever a time to say you're okay? Or does it always have to be the last out in the doubleheader of the 7th or the last out of a regular game in the 9th? Or an automatic runner? No, I'm just kidding about the automatic runner.
Yeah. But before I answer that.
Well, I quieted the crowd.
Yeah. But before I answer
I had you at half, and now I lost you.
I was watching on the game channel, and my eye caught a game, and doesn't matter what game, there was a guy on second, no outs, and my immediate thought, my brain was like, oh, they're in extra innings. No, it was just the guy got a leadoff double. So yeah. I've been now processed to think of the opposite. But to answer your question, when can you text your buddy, and when is it okay, when is it not okay, when is it a jinx, when is it not a jinx during the game? That's very difficult to answer. There is no right or wrong. It's not about the timing. It's about the content of the text. It's about the content. And you're really allowed to text anything at any time so long as it engulfs suffering, despair, misery. It cannot be cheering, positive, or helpful. That's just rookie. That's amateur. It's child.
And it can't be snarky either.
It can't be snarky or celebratory. It can be commiserating, even if it's in a positive. Otherwise, this is the sticks. This is not this is not
Dandelions. This isn't
right.
the daisies.
Right. It's so. I would just contend people who are texting each other, "Hey, we're winning so big." No, you're losing overall.
Yeah.
And that's why you're so happy about your win, because you have so few of them.
Right.
And take that Phillies game, for example, that the Phillies won tonight by a score of, what was it?
Was it 13-8?
13-8. So it really wasn't close through the game. They were up 10-0, 10-1,
Yeah.
early on. But that was not a game that I handicapped on the Phillies' bats. That game was a game I handicapped on Nola, the pitching, period. That write-up was a combination of Nola is going to be a beast. He's going to shut this lineup down. The Braves actually don't do well on Mondays. I'm not a trend guy. And they're going into Yankee Stadium after having just played a doubleheader, and they beat the Phillies twice at home. This is a get out of town. They're not going to waste their bullpen, and Nola's going to shut down the bats. So all that was accurate. Didn't predict, hey, Philadelphia's going to light up Newcomb. It was, no, Philadelphia get enough runs off Newcomb. And so when Philadelphia's getting all those runs, I'm not celebrating that. That isn't something I nailed. I didn't write up, Philadelphia's going to get 15 runs today. Get on board, $100 and send it to me. So I'm looking at that saying, what did I miss about Philadelphia exploding today?
Right. So you're looking at you're looking at what you missed. So let me just recap, because, people could email anytime they want once they get on the VIP list, and they could say things to you that might put you in an off mood. Now, the key is, as I just try to sum up what you said in 2 sentences or fewer, one is make sure the tone of your text is respectful, in that it's a gambler's text, that there's a suffering, that there's an anxiety, that all is lost but for the perfect analysis, and hey, we got a long way to go, but this takes a little pressure off. Anything that is respectful and not cheery. Number 2, make sure you reread the play and the contents of the play, and that you comprehend the narrative as written, because a lot of work goes into that. And like, I would never say something like this: "Hey, Michael, those 10 runs look like a winner," with the emoji hand. How long did they do that when I sent that to you?
No.
But, because right away he's thinking that was just bullshit luck. I didn't even think about that. So pay attention is the key. Don't get cheery. Have the right tone, and see that he's working for your ass all the time. Reread the play, and even if it comes in and you cash it in, it may only be just blind luck, and he might be in a pissed off mood. So no cheery texts. It's the bottom line.
You talked about Stroman. I want to talk about Plesac. You saw Plesac was sent home. The team sent him home after his win the other night. He went out on the town, apparently, whatever that means. I don't know what places are open, but he met up with some people. He exited the hotel room, and the team found out. And so the team, the Indians, they sent him home. And they sent him home by car. They didn't want him flying with the team. They're gonna quarantine him or whatever. They're gonna test him. And he apologized. And I like what Bieber said. Bieber said, "Look, we love Zach. We support him, but he screwed up, and we're going to handle this in-house." And I'm thinking, if you're really gonna handle it in-house, you should have made him ride a bike home from. They should have put him on a bike. And now it turns out that Clevenger was with him. And so Clevenger, they're going to have to handle too. And I just think it would have been great if they made him ride a tandem bike home.
What, with dunce caps?
Yes.
Listen,
That would be perfect.
in Plevenger's and Plesac's defense, I know it seems indefensible, but I did do some research on this.
Yeah.
Plesac was at a small pop-up party in South Korea where they have completely flattened the curve.
Oh, that's
So,
great.
in his defense, in South Korea, the curve is completely flattened. So it was a lot safer than people are making out.
It's so funny. So, dude, I was at my folks for dinner tonight. My mom
Nice.
she made an amazing meatloaf, a combination of pork and ground sirloin of all things. It was excellent. But you know, my dad's not the healthiest eater of folk, and he had gone to Costco and bought one of those big boxes of the assortment of potato chips. You know, those small single bags. And I can't. But he's eating a baggie of Doritos, and I just can't help myself. So I'm just reading the contents and, you know, not giving him a hard time. He's earned the right to eat whatever he wants, whenever he wants, however he wants. But I'm just reading the contents. And one of the bags is this. This is just a Lay's bag of chips, right? Just a bag of Lay's. And on the back, it's 1 ounce, and it's exactly 160 calories. This is the Lay's. But then this I found, this is the Lay's barbecue. So it's the same thing as the Lay's.
What a sound it makes too with your new microphone. You could really hear you rustling the packages.
Well, it's the same exact thing, same exact chip, same exact size. The only thing is that this has the barbecue seasoning on it. And so whereas the regular Lay's, no seasoning, it's 160 calories, but with the seasoning, for the same amount, it's 150 calories. Marco,
Go ahead.
I'm very confused by that.
Do you want an answer from me?
Yeah, how can the seasoning reduce?
I think they're processing those with the same machine that you process the algorithms for percentages.
Perhaps. So you know what my advice to Dad was?
Well, please.
Put away the chips. It's the baseball tournament. You eat Cracker Jack.
Yes.
That's what you do.
That's what you do.
He laughed. He thought that was a great idea.
That is a great idea, and I love the way you said it correctly. Most people would not say that perfectly.
That's right. It's not Cracker Jacks.
But the point of that story is I know Steve very well. I mean, he's been always very generous to me, and I always like spending time, and he's funny and engaging. The main point of that story, he's earned the right to eat whatever the hell he wants, so leave him alone, Michael. All right, so what else do we got here? Do you want to talk about the Queen City at all? That they're going to be in the limelight tomorrow.
Yeah, let me share this spam text I got today. I don't know how people get my number, but this guy starts off, "Happy Monday. Refer a friend and be entered to win a free pick." That's a.
You want to get a free pick?
What?
What did he say? Be what to be a free?
Be entered to win a free.
Be entered. Okay.
And goes on about where'd the text go? Goes on about time for your bankroll to grow. I want to give you an update on winners. No BS. And I'm just thinking, this is all BS.
Yeah, it's all BS.
And yelling and screaming. We will never do that to you if you join our list.
People should have, I don't mind if people copy our segments, but one segment that these spammers should copy is promises. They should promise not to use cliches. Happy Monday. You know what that does? That makes my stomach.
I know.
Entered. You're entered. It'll grow. I mean, it sounds like bad porn.
It is too. So
let's talk a little bit about Buffalo before we go to first read.
Yeah.
Can I say one more thing? I just want to say I'm excited about that these Jays are playing in Buffalo in the Queen City. I looked at the park. It's a beautiful little park. coincidentally enough, it's right on Swan Avenue, so they're keeping within the theme of birds. You got blue jays and swan, so it's almost like like this beautiful fairy tale, zippity doodah thing. And then what else did I see about that? So I noticed you were right. They needed to put in a lot more seats because they have more cutouts than any ballpark that I've ever seen, and it's cool. And you were right on. I thought it was just the lighting that had to get up to professional standards. So those are the two things I saw right away that was interesting: Swan Street and the cutouts. And I have one more thing I want to end with. But what are your feelings? I'm excited. It's natural grass. It looks good.
I only have one feeling about it. I'm glad that the Jays are home. We had a whole song we did. Nancy Prosy sung the lyrics. We'll post the whole video. We've just shown a segment of the song to end episode number 8, I think. And there are lots of shots of the Buffalo Stadium there. But Buffalo has actually hosted professional baseball before. The last time they hosted professional baseball was in 1915. So it's been a while before the last pandemic. And they were the Buffalo Blues played in the Federal League. I think they were really playing one old cat. Was that what it was called before it was baseball? One old cat.
I don't know, man. I mean, you got me there. What I do know is that Dazzy Vance was just 16 and playing at low-level ball at that time. So he could have run across that field at some point.
Right, for sure.
But that's cool. That's interesting to know. We don't do a lot of serious facts on here, although we did point out that Al Spalding pitched a doubleheader. And the final thing, and I mean, they're in the East, and they'll only play National League teams in the East, and thank God, because what kind of shit luck would it be if the first game that they have to play is the St. Louis Covids, right? I mean, They go all this way, do all these things. But guess who their first game is?
Miami.
The Fish. How wonderful to go out all your way, to be homeless. But at least they got a nice song made that we created and that Nancy sang.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing them play in the Queen City.
It is exciting.
How you feel? How's your energy? You want to go through first reads, the full slate tomorrow? You think you can do it?
Yeah, let's
all right.
do it, and we'll do it fairly rapidly tonight. So obviously the first game on the slate, and I don't know whether it's because it's Buffalo or whether it's the gods, but I've never heard of a game starting at 6:37. Usually it's 6:30, 6:40, 6:35. But this game starts at 6:37 Eastern time. The next game, so that's Miami-Toronto. And so the next game is Kansas City-Cincinnati, which goes at 6:40. So the league is really trying to let Toronto have the first pitch of the day in their home city. So that is the first game.
Man, Fred, he never stops thinking. Now he's doing staggered starts by the minute.
By the minute.
God, man, Fred. We love Man Fred.
Yeah, he gets an award. We'll have to write one for him. So Miami-Toronto, which is in Buffalo. Ryu going for Toronto, coming off a good start against Hernandez. In Cincinnati, Kansas City has arrived, and they're coming off their sweep of Minnesota. Bubic against Castillo. And Castillo got roughed up the last game. I think he's really Cincinnati's ace. First read makes it look like this is a good spot for Cincinnati against this Kansas City team. How many are they really going to win in a row? Baltimore against Philadelphia. So Baltimore will throw Cobb against Wheeler. Some people say Wheeler is Philadelphia's best pitcher. I think it's Nola. I think that's the case. I think his 8 innings of one-hit ball today demonstrated that. But Baltimore 7-7, Philadelphia's 5-6. Philadelphia should theoretically have a little better record, so I think they're looking to make a statement in the series. That's a first read. We'll look a little deeper into the matchup, but should be interesting because Baltimore hanging in there at 7-7. They need to win the series. Atlanta, as we talked about, goes into New York. They have Toussaint going against Montgomery. Looks like this game should be 50-50. Probably the over will come in at 11.
It's amazing that that's a game that immediately makes my interest, but let's keep going.
Yeah. So the Cubs play Cleveland. Lester, who's been really outstanding, will go against Plutko or Pletko. I don't know how anybody pronounces their names. So Cubs, having had the weekend off based on having been matched against St. Louis, they are in Cleveland. Cleveland, we assume, will make it back to Cleveland. We assume they're not riding bicycles. We assume they're actually flying the plane. So they should be there. But
whatever happened to their manager and his stomach? How's that doing?
He's feeling better. I think he should be back tomorrow.
You think he took my advice and sipped a little grappa?
I did. I don't know whether he did, but I certainly took your advice. Washington against the Mets, Game 2. Things don't look any better for the Mets. They have to trot out Porcello, who is problematic, to say the least. And Scherzer, who's coming off a bad start, is he tanking the whole season? So Washington will be road favorites in that game.
I think Scherzer is doing all right. I don't agree with the bad start. I hate to interrupt you, but I mean, he had like double-digit strikeouts his first 2 starts, and then he had a real injury that didn't go on. And today he was all into the game in the dugout. So I like Scherzer tomorrow, actually. But that,
unless there's more to the injury, that's really what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. White Sox in Detroit. Detroit had their number today. It was a bad spot for the White Sox playing that late game last night, flying in. So the White Sox still struggle around 500, 8-9, and Detroit moves to 9-5. Gonzalez against Alexander. I'm looking at the White Sox to win a couple games on the road now that they got today's loss under their belt, but we'll have to look deeper into that. Tampa Bay and Boston to be determined against Perez. I think Tampa Bay was pulling that out. It's 8-7 going into the top of the 9th. So that's going on there. Minnesota, Milwaukee. So Minnesota has to figure out who their pitcher is. Milwaukee's going with Lindblom. I thought today was their chance to get the win. They're 6-8. They're inconsistent.
They're like the Angels, kind of. They could lose, maybe win a couple games. They could get swept. They don't have any identity left.
Right. That's a good analysis. I think they're a little bit more consistent than the Angels, but and have a little better pitching. But that moves us to the Midwest, a little further west, where Arizona faces Colorado. Last I saw, that game was shooting way over the total, 11-7, bottom of the 7th right now. Arizona, Colorado. Freeland, who does well in Colorado, is going. I always get excited to see him in Colorado going against Gallen. Seattle and Texas. So what an interesting matchup of two teams that are like the Angels in Milwaukee. Seattle 6-11, but putting up runs tonight. Texas at 6-8.
Seattle has nothing to lose. I wouldn't put them in the same class as I would put Texas, Milwaukee, and the Halos in the same class. Seattle's like the Orioles. They have nothing to lose. They're a young, nondescript team that's just out there trying to create energy.
Right, not trying to pretend that they're something better than what they are.
I mean, the Halos definitely, Milwaukee definitely, and those Rangers definitely were trying to pretend something. And they're all not. Those three teams are equally nondescript, and I'm disinterested in them.
Yep, that's a perfect analysis. Speaking of which, San Francisco and Houston go tomorrow. Not seeing any pitchers being listed there. That's interesting.
Come on, Manfred. Stop putting down the hammer. Enough of this to be determined crap. We got gambling to do.
Right? Oakland and the Angels will play again tomorrow. Fears goes against Bundy. Bundy has been strong enough to put an end to the Angels' woes each time out. Right now, the Angels they can't even get out of the fourth inning. They gave up looks like a 4 spot in the fourth. So Oakland's up 9-4.
That's dispiriting.
Yeah, that's not helpful. And San Diego and the Dodgers. So Richards was originally scheduled today. They pushed the start back till tomorrow, and he'll go against Stripling. So a good matchup. That game tonight has San Diego up 2-1 heading into the 7th. So that's the slate.
All right. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple games that jump out at me. I mean, I would normally, if I didn't say what I already said about the Angels, and I'm not going to repeat it, I'd be interested in seeing what Bundy could do. But I'm just staying away from them. I'm not interested. That Colorado game sounds interesting. Were both pitchers announced, or is one of them to be determined?
No, that's Freeland for Colorado and Gallen going for Arizona.
And then and the other game that was interesting to me was can Atlanta get it together and go into the Big Apple? And I'm not impressed with Montgomery as a starting pitcher.
Right.
Atlanta, I mean, 2 days ago at MLB.com was saying they're a lock, for the playoffs, and all of a sudden they just start shitting on themselves. So I'm curious to see if they, because I mean, Acuna is doing great, and he's fun to watch. And it's going to be, that's all the talk. Judge has got 8 homers. Acuna's, on the short list of guys under 22, the amount of home runs he has. I think he's 4th or 5th on the list. Soto just tied Mantle at 8. So that's kind of, like you said, 50 runs. That's a fun game, but that might be a headache to handicap.
Well, don't worry about that.
I know.
And you only get one. You only get one pick, Marco.
All right, I'm gonna pick that Colorado Rockies game as the flyer. As the first flyer.
I was kind of hoping you would, because we're going to have a play on that either way.
All right.
So
that's a fun game. Yeah, I'm interested in that game. I'm interested in both, but I want to command as part of the Sticks religion that you will make a play on the Colorado Rocky game tomorrow.
That'll be our first read flyer. So we had two easy wins. We had a difficult flyer tonight to go to 5-2 overall. Looks like we're going to start off the week 2-2. Although there's still lots of time in that Angel game for Trout to hit 2 grand slams. Anything that's where we're at. And this is what I love about baseball so much. You go 2-2. We're down a little bit on the VIG. If depending on how you bet, we'll do a segment on betting, but I bet these 4 games, I'm coming out even. So if you're down, even though you're betting favorites, you're probably managing your money incorrectly. So we'll do some discussion about that as we move through the season. But how great is
just to remind people that are on the VIP list, read the plays closely, because our first read flyer on the Twins game, Milwaukee game, was predicted to be a good loss, which it ended up, because we were in it till the end. And we went down, and I don't want to take anything away from you, but in spinning the tables, those weren't very good wins, the Philly game and the Washington game, because that was just luck. So that's the way balances sometimes.
Well, I won't agree with it being luck. I mean, Nola pitched 8 shutouts. 8.
That's true. What am I saying?
2 hits, 1 run. So it was
right, because those were just garbage runs. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, but I'm saying there was surprises only in the one game, and it's really these Angels that's kind of a little bit of a surprise. I think these Halos.
Angels will tighten it up. That game will end 11-7.
Yeah.
Let's
end on a good note. We got a first read flyer with the Rockies, Arizona, right, tomorrow.
Yep.
And then we have you'll get some more nice plays out there. We are we are in the first of 7 Sundays starting this week, and that's how we're doing percentages. We have a full week ahead of us. This is the first of 7 remaining, so we're a little bit past the third done of the season. We're still in the black as far as our numbers are going for the picks. You're doing great. I think we had a fun show. let your dad eat whatever the hell he wants. He's earned it. And I'm going to say good night, Michael.
Full slate tomorrow, Marco. We'll see you tomorrow. Can't wait, my friend. Good night.